WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. The Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics and Boonville Police are investigating the deaths of two people who took illegal narcotics laced with fentanyl.
Our Allie Martin shows us how this drug is deadly not only to the public but also to first responders.
In his 30-plus years in law enforcement, Prentiss County Sheriff Randy Tolar has witnessed firsthand the devastation caused by drug use and abuse. He says the synthetic opioid known as fentanyl is one of the most dangerous and deadly.
Fentanyl is one of the most powerful pain medications that's out there, and where the danger is that these substance abusers are taking these substances in their body, not necessarily knowing what's in the substance, whether it's in powder form or pill form.
That is what happened when two Boonville residents used illegal drugs laced with fentanyl. 3 others overdosed. That evidence was taken to the state crime lab and tested positive for fentanyl. The sheriff says the 2 deaths should serve as a warning to drug users.
The main thing is don't do drugs, but we've got people out there that their addiction overrides common sense and good judgment, and they're whatever we say to them, they're going to still use it. My advice to people is if it's not a prescription that you get from a pharmacy, don't take it.
Fentanyl is so potent that in some cases just skin-to-skin contact can cause medical issues. First responders have extra layers of protection, and also they want to get as much information as possible for any call that could involve the dangerous drug.
We have to step up our level just a little bit more so like somebody with tuberculosis or other communicable diseases. We have eye protection, we have the latex glove to protect our skin, we have the gowns to protect our arms, the face mask to protect the airborne particles. With our e-dispatch, the dispatchers at 911 collect this information and they pass it on to us before we even get on scene.
Investigators are working to find the source of the fentanyl-laced drugs and arrest the dealers. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, police encourage anyone with information about the source of the fentanyl-laced drugs to call their local police or sheriff's department.
Boonville residents see this as more than a law enforcement problem. Many see it as a community issue, and they're taking action.
Local leaders have called a community meeting. It's just getting underway. Our Quentin Smith is there. He joins us live from Boonville with the latest.
That's right, Andrea. People are pouring in here to Sunflower Park right now as we speak. Instead of having Wednesday night Bible study at their churches, everyone is coming here to the park. And to give you an idea of how important this is, right now you have dozens of residents on hand, as well as Boonville Police and the city's mayor are all in attendance to address this issue. Our residents tell me the use of fentanyl is growing rapidly in the Boonville community, and now they're trying to put an end to it. They say the multiple overdose deaths are alarming, and now they're trying to find a way to get out in front of this issue. Tonight there will be prayer service, and informational guides will also be handed out to make people aware of this drug, and there will also be pamphlets handed out to show people about the resources that are made available to them to help them put an end to this drug use. Now, again, this meeting is getting underway right now as we speak. I'm going to remain out here, but we'll have much more from this meeting coming up tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10. But for now, reporting live in Boonville, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
Choctaw County deputies make an arrest in a store burglary. A picture of this Kia Sportage was released after thieves broke in Bywide Country Store. Investigators say the break-in happened on June 15th. The burglary could be related to a similar crime in Kemper County. Law enforcement in Choctaw, Winston, and Kemper counties are investigating the case. Deputies are not releasing any information at this time about the person that is in custody. More arrests are expected. If you have any information, call the Choctaw County Sheriff's Department.
Criminals often target rural stores. Isolation can make them seem like easy targets, but many store owners are trying to put a stop to it.
Our Riley Livingston went out to find out how they keep employees, customers, and their property protected. Riley joins us in the studio with more. Riley?
Recent burglary cases and concerns for employee safety have some stores stepping up security. Most have cameras, but sometimes they need more. In less than a month, the Wcbi Country store has been burglarized twice. Now they're taking action.
As of yesterday, we put the ADT system in, so we're hoping that's gonna, stop it.
Store owner Sherry Harris says the new system and the cameras they already have in place should scare people away.
I hope, that people will come in now and know this. We've got the ADT sign, but, some people just stick them up when you don't even have security, But like I said, I'm hoping we've got a monitor behind the counter now. Hopefully people will see that we do have them for real on camera.
Even if the new security measures don't deter the criminals, there's always another benefit.
And I know not long ago we had somebody steal a pack of cigarettes, I think, and then they were able to check the security cameras and catch the guy that did it.
When criminals strike, rural stores are often at another disadvantage. Law enforcement is often spread thin. So Harris says they don't wait, and it's paid off.
The law's gotten where they're, like the morning that my husband, we called it in, the law officer wasn't too far behind getting here. He was here, in no time. So, that made me feel a little better.
Employees often find themselves working alone late at night. For Sierra Drury, having something like a magnetic locking door helps put her at ease.
It helps a lot, especially the door. I think is one of the best things that I like is that you can lock it. Whenever I started here, I was a little nervous being here by myself at night, but after working here for a little bit, it's fine.
The stores we talked to also have other security measures in place that they didn't want to share.
All right, thanks a lot, Riley. Time to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Joy, right now across our area we have a lot of sunshine. It is warm, it is humid. We've got upper 80s, the heat index about 95 to 100 degrees. And right now we have nothing on our live Doppler radar, and you're thinking typically this time of year that would hold true for the rest of the evening. However, we are watching storms erupt out here across Texas. Watches, warnings, big-time storms moving in our general direction, and that complex, if it holds together, will get in here later this evening. So for the next couple of hours, not a lot going on. After 9 or 10 into the overnight, we'll watch out for those storms. Wind the main threat here. Your full forecast coming up.
Well, you can get there from here. This month, the Golden Triangle Regional Airport added a 4th flight to Atlanta. Now, where Stephanie Poole finds out what that means to local travelers. She joins us live in the studio. Stephanie.
Before the new flight, planes to Atlanta were full and even overbooked. With Delta's new round-trip flights, there's more room and more options come and go. Golden Triangle Regional Airport saw a record number of passengers in 2018. And due to a high demand, Delta Airlines is providing a 4th flight from GTR to Atlanta. Since June 10th, all 4 flights have been running 85% full. Passengers like Ariane Hainsey says this means more options to fly throughout the day.
It benefits me a lot. This 4th flight allowed me to fly out of here for DC very easily. As soon as the 4th flight was added,
the more frequent you have, is more flexible for you to have a schedule.
GTR Airport Executive Director Mike Hainsey says travelers now have more connections to reach their destination quicker.
People can leave the East Coast, say at 9 in the morning, and be here at 1 in the afternoon versus waiting until 4 or 5 in the afternoon to come in. You don't have to wait for 2 or 3 hours for your connection now. You can do it on an hour, hour and a half.
Hainsey says the goal for GTR Airport is to see flight occupancy grow by another 5% over the next couple of months.
Flights, but we expect by October to be up, once again, up over 90%.
Hainsey is hopeful that this growth will benefit the airport and surrounding cities in the coming years.
The important thing is that we give our industries and our businesses the opportunity both to send their people out all over the world, but to bring people in from all over the world, their customers.
Hainsey says construction is still ongoing for a new terminal that will sit 200 passengers. He said it should be open by the end of July.
Mississippi is known as the birthplace of America's music, and some of those musicians are getting some recognition.
We check out the new additions when we come back.
Welcome back. Governor Phil Bryant joins country music legend Marty Stewart in Philadelphia to reveal the newest members of Mississippi's Country Music Trail. The trail already features about 30 markers across the state honoring musicians who've made their mark in the music business. The recipients included Marty Gamblin, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Steve Azar, and an additional Jimmy Rogers marker. Bryant calling the honorees some of country music's greatest. Today's ceremony is an effort to revitalize the trail.
It gives Mississippi an opportunity to stop and say, you know, I did not know that country music star was either from here or had such a history in Mississippi. People come from all over the world to see them. There's photographs from people in Germany and Japan and Switzerland that come to Mississippi just to stand and view these country music markers.
Now the Johnny Cash marker is coming to Starkville. No word yet on when the markers will be placed.
Some Lee County kids get a little closer to nature today. The Church After School Association, or CASA, took a field trip to the Tupelo Tree Farm. Children learned about the tree farm and how these trees will eventually end up in medians and other public spaces around town. The tour was set up by the Public Works Department to help educate children about the valuable resource in the southern part of Tupelo.
Not a lot of people know that we have the tree farm and what all we do. And just educate the children on why Tupelo is named Tupelo after the Tupelo tree, as well as the different types of trees that we plant throughout the city.
I learned about keeping the Tupelo beautiful and making sure that it's clean so that the trees can live, so we can have oxygen because the trees produce oxygen for us to breathe.
I never knew Tupelo was named after a tree. How about that? The kids also learned about Keep Tupelo Beautiful and met the mascot, the Tupelo bee.
It looks great across our region this evening. Lots of sunshine, some friendly clouds. Hot, humid though. The heat index flirting with the century mark, but keep in mind we do have some storms that are possible tonight. Full forecast, more details on that coming up next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
So nice to see you on this hot and humid Wednesday afternoon. Going into the evening, some friendly clouds here earlier in the day. That's our Alp Insurance time lapse from downtown Tupelo today. And again, there is nothing happening locally. We've had some showers and storms around the region, a few isolated downpours earlier, but right now we're all quiet. However, through tonight, all of this yellow and orange even, this is severe weather potential. And let's talk about these storms erupting out here just northeast of Dallas. Right there, look at that big complex of storms and the outflow here. Look at that big anvil cloud right there. It looks like a big, huge spaceship floating across Texas right now. Big time hailstorms, watches, warnings, lightning to heavy downpours, even a little bit of tornado potential out there right now. But as the storms continue to evolve and develop and move east through Arkansas, we will be watching the western horizon sometime after probably 9 or 10 o'clock thereafter for a couple of hours as those storms will cross our area. Probably by 3 o'clock. Most of the strong stuff should be winding down, we would expect, but we'll see how this all evolves. Definitely by the time you wake up tomorrow, no threat of severe weather. Assuming the storms do hold together, strong damaging straight line wind would be the main threat. Also some very heavy downpours. There could be a little bit of hail mixed on in. In the general setup here, tornadoes typically are on the low end of the spectrum. So wind, the primary threat if we do see some strong storms here tonight. Lows will eventually settle down to around the low 70s. Now tomorrow it's not going to rain the entire day. I know we are painting the opportunity for some rain across the region during the day, but more than we have scattered activity, I think, with highs in the upper 80s, warm and steamy, the heat index well into the 90s, it would appear. There's going to be a frontal boundary hanging around. This is tomorrow afternoon, so some spotty showers and storms here. Not everyone will get it. We're going to go with about a 40% chance of rain tomorrow, a 30% chance for a shower storm on Friday. Again, most spots probably won't see it. The big story as we get into Friday afternoon and the weekend will be developing heat and humidity. So at this point, the weekend's looking fairly benign, hot and humid, with temperatures well into the 90s here Saturday and Sunday. The heat index into the triple digits too. So let's check it out with your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. 88 tomorrow. Again, we'll watch out for the storms tonight. 92 Friday. Warm and mainly dry for the weekend. Better rain chances and storm chances next week.
Its second game here at the College World Series. I'll have highlights and more coming up after the break. Stay with us.
WCBI sports coverage of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you in part by Monroe County Farm Bureau, Jackson Square Storage, Bill Cunningham, attorney at law, and Bank First, a better way to bank. Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Welcome back to TD Ameritrade Park here in Omaha, Nebraska. Well, normally we are used to the Bulldogs transforming into the Rally Dogs, but that unfortunately for Mississippi State would not be the case today. The Bulldogs taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores for their second matchup in the College World Series in a very difficult matchup at that. That rally that I just mentioned didn't come early enough. The Bulldogs taking on Vandy. Steven Scott getting hot early with a solo home run, and he makes it 1-0 for the Commodores. And then we move to the top of the third inning. This one will make you wonder if Jordan Westberg or Derek Jeter, a heck of a play. And we'll get a quick rewind on that play as well as he gets the out over at first. A huge defensive plays coming out of TD Ameritrade today. Scott getting back at it again, this time with a 3-run bomb to go up 6-0 in the fifth inning. And Marshall Gilbert with a solo homer as well, followed by a Tanner Allen RBI double to bring it within 3 runs. So currently 6-3 at this point in the game. But Mississippi State just not able to come back in this one, not able to get that rally. They would fall 6-3. They'll end up playing Louisville at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And an interesting stat, 24 out of 29 College World Series champs started 2-0 in the College World Series. So not exactly what Mississippi State is hoping for, but that's unfortunately the scenario that the Bulldogs are going to have to deal with. A huge issue and possibly a concern as we move into games later in the week is now they have to play 3 games if they're hoping to make it to that College World Series championship. Again, starting with that matchup to Louisville tomorrow at 7 p.m. And again, a huge issue is back then Mississippi State used 6 pitchers trying to stop the bleeding against Vanderbilt this afternoon. Chris Lamona's already saying in that post-game press conference that we're going to be seeing JT Ginn start on the mound tomorrow. We haven't seen him since he stopped playing because he had some shoulder soreness. So good to see that he's going to be back tomorrow, but unsure as how he's going to play. Also, another good possibility is that if Mississippi State ends up playing Vanderbilt for a second time come Friday, we probably won't see Kumar Rocker dealing things out again on the mound for the Commodores. But we'll have more for you coming up tonight here at 10, including post-game sound. But reporting out here in Omaha, Nebraska, outside of TD Ameritrade Park, Courtney Robb for WCBI Sports. We'll have more for you coming up after the break. Stay with us.
WCBI sports coverage of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you in part by Bill Russell Ford, Prestige Farms, OCH Regional Medical Center, Advanced Medicine, Compassionate Care, Home Store Furnishings in Starkville, and Visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Look at these big storms out here in Texas and Arkansas. Those are headed our way. Right now they're pretty strong, but as they evolve, they'll likely turn into a wind threat for us later on if they do hold together. We'll watch that all evening long, and we'll have another update here at 10 o'clock. But no issues for the next couple of hours. By the weekend, though, more heat, more humidity. The heat index back into the triple digits.
Ooh, boy, yeah.
94.
And I should just say summer officially starts Friday, if you didn't already know.
That's exactly right. You know, we were spoiled last week, though, because you had that low humidity. The temperatures were just right.
We were spoiled.
Not
so much now.
For lows.
It was a treat.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.